Welcome to the Media Odyssey Podcast. That is Eva and Shapiro.
And that is Marianne Ranchet, and we are coming to you from IBC. Marianne, please, for those who are uninitiated, what is IBC? First of all, what does IBC stand for?
International Broadcasting Convention.
Could it sound any creakier? Actually, usually we just have strangers or people we don't like on the podcast, but this time we actually have people we know and we actually like, right?
Yeah, we made an exception.
Okay. So we got here the other day. You had your streaming made easy live, which shortens to SMEL.
I hate you.
SMEL, SMEL.
SME Live. SME Live.
SME
Streaming
Live.
Made Easy Live.
It was amazing.
Thank you
should
for
be
that.
really proud. But you're also, what else have you been doing at IBC?
So I actually did a pod with the team at Bedrock yesterday. I moderated 2 sessions for the IBC conference. And yeah, we have 2 episodes here today. You have your session right this afternoon.
Well, yesterday I did a session with Teresa from Royal Television Society. And I threw a couple of truth bombs there. I talked about the Affinity Economy. It was really good. The people at IBC are so easy to work with. Sally and the whole team that we work with, just really friendly and wonderful. And they walk us around when we need help. But that stage was great and it went really well. And then today, yes, I'm going to throw even more truth bombs out there. Yesterday, I talked about the UK television ecosystem and how a lot of the media elite in the UK television ecosystem are kind of stultified and stuck. And actually, I talked about a lot of generational dynamics. And I asked somebody afterwards, what was your takeaway? And he said, there's this generational divide in our ecosystem. And he said, that's part of the issue, is that there's this lack of passing of the baton or a lack of kind of communicating with each other. And then I had a dinner last night with Quick Play and a whole bunch of people from the industry there. And I did one of my prompts, which is, if you could change anything about the industry, what would it be? And people were brutally honest. But again, one of the takeaways was this lack of generational progress that we're making. How does that reflect to you? When you come to IBC, which we love this event, this is your hometown now, Amsterdam, one of my favorite cities in the world. It feels like we are making progress in the conversation, but where do you think we are in the continuum of making that evolution from the last generation of media to the next generation?
So I think that what's fascinating is actually during SMEL, SME. Oh my God, I hate you for this.
Now she's using it.
No, I'm
SME
saying,
Live.
SME Live. No, but one of the speakers he was talking about the ego trap and this an ability to actually change, the narrative and do things differently. And my concern is that there's a lot of talk, so I'm sure people were very truthful about it, but what are they actually doing to change that, right? So what concerns me is that I think a lot of people are aware, but are unable within their organization to make those changes. A lot of the reasons being that companies are not in sync. And especially within broadcasters.
Within their own company.
Yeah, and so
there's discord and disagreement.
Within broadcasters, if you're talking, and it shows particularly in the UK, if you talk to the public, the PSB side, and you talk to the studio side within the same company, BBC, ITV Studios, etc. It's different worlds, right? And folks from the commercial, the studio side are saying, we're struggling to get heard. We're struggling to move forward. We're not going at the speed that we need. And Grace Boswood from Channel 4, so fascinating. And she said something fascinating.
She was at the dinner last.
So perhaps it would be good if we were, we had that financial incentive because things are not going to the pace that it should.
As an internal disruptor to a certain extent, Teresa Wise asked me, she said, well, from the public service media or broadcaster standpoint, again, there's that word again, broadcasting. Is BBC a broadcaster? They're the #1 most watched channel in the UK, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of that viewing happens on the iPlayer, which was one of the first streaming apps in public broadcasting, actually one of the first streaming apps on the planet. There was Netflix and then SVT and BBC kind of came in fast followers right after that. And so they really did innovate. And I said, well, but then they kind of got stuck after that. And she asked me, what would you tell the public broadcasters? I said, look at your commercial arm. BBC, go look at Jasmine Dawson at BBC Studios. ITV, go look at Ruth Berry and Martin Trickey at ITV. ZDF, go look at Lynette Zolik, one of our favorite people at ZDF Studios, and let them help you disrupt.
Yeah.
I think that's this key element of what I talked about was the affinity economy. So right now, I think there are people believe there's this dichotomy, the creator economy and mainstream media. And in reality, it's all one. It's melding into one big Frankenstein monster of parts that come together, which is the creator economy plus traditional broadcasters and traditional commercial media coming together in what I call the affinity economy. You can call it whatever you want, but you do have to. I was talking to people from Globo afterwards, and they said, what would you do if you were us? And I said, pull it all together. You have the right to win. These broadcasters, BBC, ZDF, France Television, they have the right to win. And then you look at what Netflix did with TF1, you look at what Amazon did with France Television, and that melding, that cooperation, that collaboration is really where we need to go. Your audiences want to hop from social media to your app, to your broadcasting, to your podcast. They want to be surrounded by the IP that they love, but you have to give them the chance to do that, to express their love everywhere that they are.
Yeah, instead of trying to lock them in your own and operated, right? So, but I think there's a shift. So IBC stands for broadcasting, but I have to say that, it's a great segue into our guest, is that it's much more than that. So yes, we're talking about broadcasting technology, but we're talking streaming technology. You see connected TV platforms. You see telecom operators, technology vendors operating all sides of the ecosystem. So this event is much more than that. I think it's a technology conference, at heart. But at the end of the day, that technology is here to enable, video content. So the name is there, but I never hear anyone saying International Broadcasting Convention. It's IBC.
Yeah, I know. And ESPN stands for Entertainment Sports Network, and nobody calls it that. But I do think if we can challenge the industry, and I think this is a good time because Whale TV is the convergence of all of these things on your television screen. But I think we have to, rather than change the name from broadcasting, I think we have to challenge ourselves and our industry to change the definition of broadcasting. If we redefine broadcasting to include every time you are exporting your IP, whether it's on the TV, in a podcast, on social media, you are literally the definition of broadcasting.
Yeah, you're broadcasting your vision, your voice, your content. No, 100%.
And the audience is broadcasting their love back to us. So I think that's a really good segue to our guests and our friends here from Whale TV. You and I were talking beforehand, and I think you think, and we agreed, that Whale is the best kept secret in streaming and television. Why did you say that? You said that to me.
Yeah, so they've been around the block for years, right? But it's been a journey, so to say. And I think initially, and the team can speak to that in more detail, they were a white label, right? So I think a lot of us have been using their platform without knowing it. But they rebranded a year ago. And so that begs the question, what is Whale TV, guys?
It is best kept secret because it was just literally kind of secret. I think Marion made a good point. It's been white label. That's how the TV business has been working, mainly for the independent like ourselves, because we are an independent TV OS, and we've been delivering already entertainment to the world as behind the scenes, right?
No.
So when you say white label, what you mean is, so this is a television operating system, like Roku or Tizen or
exactly.
But white label means that the OEM or the television manufacturing is basically taking credit for your operation.
100%. And why is that? Because that was really important. When the TV manufacturer was actually making money from selling the hardware, they were differentiating themselves from the brand, right? So you went to the store and you would decide to pick, I'm not going to say any brands, brand A or brand B because you like that brand better, right? The entertainment on the TV was pretty much similar, right? So for companies like us that lived from always licensing in the past, it was really, really important that our clients, so the TV brands, feel like the TV not feel, because still we share that still,
But
but
it
that
felt like their
felt like
television.
it's there,
Yeah.
they made it, right?
Right.
And that was a really good business, really good model for us for very long. That was a bread and butter.
It's
for
kind of
many.
like, if you remember that campaign, the Intel Inside. So
exactly.
you were in there, but
Yeah.
people didn't necessarily, BASF. We don't make the helmets, but we make the helmets better.
Yeah.
But why did you decide to come out? Why did you decide to emerge from the white label, emerge from anonymity, and start to take credit for the operating system that you're providing to your partners?
Yeah, we saw the shift to streaming. We saw the consumers starting to place more importance on the user experience
Yep.
around their viewing. And we kind of saw the kind of battle for HDMI 1 is kind of over now. It's, you now you buy a TV and you expect to just go home, plug it in, connect it to your Wi-Fi and watch
Start
it,
watching. Yeah.
right? And so that has kind of prompted a change in our thought at the leadership of the company. We were formerly named Zeasn and operating for about 14 years, white labeling, a ton of expertise around connected TV operating systems.
You say that there are millions of consumers around the world that have touched television sets that you have your software inside of it, but they don't know, right?
Yes, 44 million monthly active TVs.
44
Around the
million
world.
monthly active TVs are across the planet Earth. That's
Yes.
a lot.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
pretty
Wow.
decent size.
And
Go ahead.
I was going to say that I think one of the major differences that would change that shape is that TVOS is a commodity now, right? I think the users starting to really recognize that user experience, and they're really trying or starting to relate that to a brand. That's what's so key about us coming also up front with a brand, being Well TV, being recognized as the experience only in the TV together with the TV brand and it's more about owning the real estate together more than just lending it to them and them marketing it. It's more like a joint effort.
Well, it's a differentiator because
Yeah.
there are good operating systems,
Yes.
and frankly, there are really shitty operating systems, ones that frustrate you. Can't find anything, discovery's hard. But Marion, you came from the operating system world. You're a recovering TV operating system executive. Can you just explain to our listeners what the business proposition is behind running? Whale TV has theirs, but generally speaking, what are the business economics about running an operating system?
Yeah, I think you have the TV, the hardware, but it's a business with very low margin, right? So making those TVs is very costly. I was talking to someone yesterday. Sometimes you even lose money when you sell a
The
TV.
loss leader.
And so what happened was the focus was historically on hardware. And of course, you want to have amazing picture quality, but those are basics. It's the foundation. And so the TVOS, to me, it's the brain. It's the brain of the TV. That's what makes it smart, right? You don't need to plug anything else external. Everything is packaged in. You come in, you have a platform.
It's a browser to a certain extent.
Exactly.
For an operating
Much
system like
much smoother.
Right.
But you have everything from live TV, SVOD, AVOD fast, you name it.
YouTube, social
Even
media
more,
now, yeah.
gaming, etc. And so the change that's happened these last few years is, of course, when you're in that business, you're looking for money to be made, right? So if you're not making money on the hardware, where are you making
So
money?
how are you making money as an operating system?
Well, so depending on, there's two, I'd say, and at the top, Teresa mentioned the fact that Well TV is independent. And I think what matters is to say there's a difference between a Samsung or LG who were historically TV manufacturers and they've built their own OS. So it's their brain, everything is controlled, it's their environment, versus those like Well TV who are actually agnostic, right? So they've built that brain, and that brain can go anywhere with any type of brand. And so where are we making money? Where are you guys making money? Is that, of course, you want users to engage with your platform. And so folks are going to sign up to Netflix. And so the TVOS gets a cut on any new subscription. You're going to be spending time watching AVOD and FAST. That attention is being monetized by folks like Chris. So there's multiple touch points, and everywhere someone is looking, there's an opportunity for monetization. And we're going to be talking about that model in a bit more detail, but the question is, how is that money being shared?
Well, and in this case, you guys have a really unique business proposition, right? So I think one of the differentiators is your tech. It's really good tech. But to a certain extent, one of the greatest differentiators is the relationship you have with the OEMs and the channel providers. Can you explain that business model and how is it different from the norm in the industry?
Yeah, 100%. So maybe to quickly go back to that and then lean into your question.
Great.
So that's been one major shift in how the OS business works. So it was purely OS license, right? That means the moment a TV is shipped, your job is done.
Yeah.
You don't care what happened with that TV, okay? You're done.
So you paid a license fee?
So it's your revenue stream.
It's done.
So it's a product you're selling.
Yeah, so you sell your product, your job is done, check. Another TV, check. So what happens now? That's just falling away. That's fading away. You know, the tech giants are the reason why we had to reinvent ourselves. So I guess in the end of the day, we have to be thankful to them because that we had to literally reinvent ourselves. And now...
Because they weren't asking a fee, right?
No, they were paying.
They were paying to get on the set. And then taking the economics.
Yeah, and
all the upsides.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
50, paying you a bounty fee of 50 for...
But then keeping all the future revenue.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's where the difference comes, right? So now our job starts when the TV gets to your living room. That's where the magic happens. That's where the fun starts. And when we're doing that to be able to compete with the other models out there is we're actually giving the OS for free. So it's not just Will TV Plus for free.
There's no fee for the operating.
Will TV Plus is for free, but the OS is actually also for free, you know?
Everything for free.
Everything
Awesome.
for free.
Love doing business with you, Teresa.
Yeah.
But how do you make money then?
You want to deep dive into that?
Yeah, so basically, as Marion said, there's a lot of ways that we can make money through advertising, free ad-supported TVs, a primary one. And what we've announced at the beginning of the year was our whale profit sharing plan. And what this allows the TV manufacturers basically to get skin in the game. So not only do you have a free operating system with us, but if you sign up to this program, we will actually help fund your development with a bounty up front so you can distribute the TVs, and then we'll share in the revenue downstream with you as you go through.
So you're providing a minimum guarantee at the front and then working with them. And they're unlike the big tech models where they get paid a fee up front, but then that's it. You're capped.
Right.
Yeah.
You're sharing in every dollar that's generated, both the subscriptions and the advertising on moving forward.
Yeah. And so the cool thing about this is so there's 800 TV brands still out there, right? We know maybe the top 3 or 4 in the world, but there's so many others. And we work with about 400 of them. If you're, not in that top tier, then, you don't have enough resources to go put together a, full-fledged operating system with full feature, AI search and so forth. Get content on there, a bunch of free TV on there. Go get an ad platform and technology and get advertisers on board. So we offer that kind of as a turnkey solution out the box for those TV brands. And then with the WPS, our program, we'll share the revenue on the back end.
So what WPS does is basically...
What is WPS?
Well profit sharing.
Okay.
Sorry. So well profit sharing, this model of bounty fee, we remove the risk for ourselves by saying, okay, I'm putting skin in the game. I'm going to commit to your brand.
Well, you're spending all the money on the development of the software.
It's actually an MG for trust.
Right.
You can see it that way. And then you commit to give me your TV for the lifespan of the TV. I'm going to monetize it. We're married because you want me to make money on that TV because I'm going to share revenue back with you. And the smart thing about that, in order to make it risk-free for us, is that we take that MG out of the 40%, so we make sure we cover our costs and then start sharing the 40% fully once we're both making money out of the business. And that makes the OEMs, they want us to succeed because we're making them, the business, easy to start. We're giving them cash up front. We're paying them every month. It's important to say they have to commit to a minimum shipment, TV shipment.
Number of
We do
TVs.
not allow everybody to just, you can't do that.
So just really quickly, just because this is a very
complex.
inside baseball, when you make, if you are a challenger, a television brand or a Sharp, you make X number of televisions per year, and honestly, a lot of these folks will divide some up with Whale TV or some other OS and commit different amounts of their shipping every year to different OS partners. What you're saying is you want a minimum number of sets out of the partner in exchange for the revenue sharing and the minimum guarantee that you're
100%.
Because it's a game of scale.
right.
100%.
Well, so you're in 44 million television active monthly users on a relative basis, but that you were there before you invented WPS, right?
Yes.
My question is, how's the uptake? Or maybe not to put it in an uptake question because it's still early days, but how's the reaction been? Some of these television brands, you have the big television brands that everybody knows about, right? But region by region, there are Vizios. So US has Vizio, but it's only US.
Right.
All around the world, Poland, Colombia, Egypt, they have their own individual version of Vizio. They are your customers. How has the reaction been? You're the sales guy. How's the reaction been?
It's been great. We've just in the 9 months that we've launched, we've signed up about half of our previous customer set is migrated over.
Wow. To this
to
new model.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a new model.
So the current active sets, you've migrated those over?
The manufacturers.
Okay.
So for new sets
Nice.
coming out, we'll be in the program.
Great. And there's also, you mentioned Whale TV Plus.
Yes.
What the fuck is that? Because you got Whale TV.
I ask that question to me every day. Every day. I just have to do it. So Whale TV Plus, it's based, to me, how I see it, is the vehicle to unlock that premium in-stream inventory. In the end of the day, when you want to build a business from the living room, the TV becomes the most valuable billboard literally in your home, right? And you want to create entry points on your TV. Of course, we want to create great entertainment, but we also want to make money with that entertainment, right? So there is multiple ways, multiple ad formats. Chris can comment more on that, but Whale TV Plus is just part of the strategy to bring better content, to bring more channels, to bring an extensive library of movie series, and sell advertising against them. So it's a pretty simple
So what's the
model.
content that's in that?
It's a fast proposition. So it's a lot of genre-based thematic channels.
So you're doing
It's
rev
about
share deals with publishers and
rev
licensing
share,
deals.
inventory splits. We've got all sorts of. We've got sports, news, movies and series. We're not reinventing the wheel. We're just bringing specially what the users or watchers want to watch. We're bringing those thematic channels to them. And what it's nice about owning the OS as well and not just creating the fast service is that you really have so many entry points on the OS level. So it's not just an app, it's also, it controls the majority of the part of our free TV section. I think the OS, it's just growing into a direction where in the end of the day, what you're going to do with this, you're going to watch TV. You're just going to watch TV in it. And I don't think the user, it's going to, today I'm going to watch fast. No, you're just going to watch TV.
All these different terminologies, this
that's just
stacking
us.
of taxonomy,
Yeah,
it just
and-
confuses everybody.
Yeah.
And we're just enabling a way of watching TV's free streaming TV with ads.
Yeah, this
That's-
is the plug in the TV into the wall,
Yeah.
connect it to your Wi-Fi, turn
Start
it
watching.
on, start watching.
Well, and so from an advertiser, we've talked about the programmers a little bit, we've talked about the OEMs, but I think what gets lost in this is the advertisers. So, the money isn't moving over to CTV fast enough to keep up with the viewing, right? There's so much more viewing there, and it's not commensurate with the amount of advertising dollars that have gone there. Part of that is the data on connected television sucks. It's a huge existential problem for the industry. But I won't make you answer why that is. I will ask you, what's the differentiator for the advertisers on a whale television as opposed to some of the other players out there? How is it different? How are you've announced new software updates and new protocols. What does Whale TV give to the advertising or the branding partner that perhaps you don't find elsewhere in the system?
Yeah, kind of answered as, hey, what are the things that we do like TV or better, and then kind of what's the extra secret sauce? And I think the kind of what we do, like for those linear dollars to shift over and advertising is, standard in-stream 30, 15-second videos. We get that in our O&O fast service, Whale TV Plus. We get that through content provider applications that we distribute through kind of partnership agreements. So that's kind of, I think, bread and butter. But what I think is kind of a unique value proposition to connected TV and an operating system like us is all the opportunities in and around the content, right? And it's a wonderful branding experience when you turn on the TV to have, your navigation here, but as you're looking through content, get some choices of content cycling through up at the top. And then that's a great advertising opportunity for endemic advertisers, right? Content partners that are looking to get in front of the person who's looking to watch something, right?
And so one of the best categories, as you're saying, is media and entertainment, film, television, those type of things. It's one click away. That's why it's such a great ad platform for them. But are we seeing other categories come in? I mean, we've talked about this before. It's a great environment for the media, entertainment, technology partners, right? But are we seeing packaged goods? Are we seeing auto? Are we seeing alcohol? Are we seeing some of these other categories come in and adopt this new enterprise? Because that home screen ad, that unit that you can provide when the television turns on, that's the lead-in to television. It's probably the most valuable piece of advertising anywhere. Because like social media, the ads, I never click on anything, right? Ever.
It's noise.
I barely pay attention. Actually, I get pissed off. But this little billboard that you can put at the front of your television experience, are you seeing new categories come in and adopt this new environment?
We definitely are. So we're seeing also a ton of non-endemic categories like luxury goods, hospitality, vacation spots. This travel's beautiful, lush, gardens, destination. Looks really good on your big TV. Automobile, even kind of like a QSR, just traditional conserved restaurants. McDonald's burger looks really good on the big screen from dinner time.
Yeah, and it feels like Instacart and DoorDash and Uber Eats, like that's the perfect place.
Yeah, people are ready
sitting
to
in front of
order.
my television. I may or may not be stoned.
Yeah.
I'm definitely always hungry. A QR code and I can just order right away. We talked to Angel recently, and they actually sell tickets, movie tickets right there, and then the ticket comes right to
within the streaming experience.
Yeah.
The one thing that I will say is that home screen is also precious. So the comment you made about social media, I think we've all understood that the trade-off is that it's free, and therefore we have to endure that advertising. I will say that what could be tricky for you guys is to find the right balance between preserving that viewing experience.
The user experience.
The user experience, and yet monetizing that time spent. And I've noticed that the good thing about what you guys have been doing is you've been very innovative in terms of the ad formats to find ways. I'm thinking pause ads, L-shaped, ways of, not being too much, in people's face. Can you talk a bit more about those formats?
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. Our goal is that the end user, the viewer, has to have a great experience, right? It starts with turning on the TV, it starts with the free TV, and it starts with, the ad experience for you. It's so we try to get more endemic advertising on the home screen when you're or when you're on the discovery page and looking for content. When
that's a good time to.
It's a great time for an endemic ad, right? Maybe when you're kind of paused, you're going back to start, might be a good time for a non-endemic ad, right? Or so I think we try to mix it up and be mindful of the experience, and and then kind of normal stuff, trying to frequency cap how many times an ad is shown to not get creative fatigue and those kind of things.
Well, I think that I talked about the data sucking. But I think a lot of the creative sucks too. And so you're in a new environment. Don't just take a display ad from Facebook and slap it into a connected television. You have to understand what the viewer is doing when they see your ad, and where the environment is and what the surrounding is. Get better creative, and it will be less annoying. It will feel part of the experience.
Totally. And we have advertisers that get it, and their experiences are really good. They're really beautiful.
And then you have advertisers that don't get it.
Yes.
And then they blame you or the media for the ad not working. And then you say to them, like, look, maybe make your ad fit the environment better.
Well, to be fair, it's a very fragmented landscape that we're in, right?
Yes.
So for advertisers, very complicated to be sure that their brand is front and center across any type of touch points within any of those ecosystems. And so that requires a lot of, you need to be industrial about the way you put those creative out. And so I'm not so surprised that sometimes the output doesn't look good. But guys, we've said it, you're not the only one, in that lane. There's like 20 plus different TV hosts. If, what is that sweet spot? Like in one sentence, what is that sweet spot people should really come to you and you think you're going to win this market?
Prioritize you, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
As of the end user or in
No,
general?
the OEM partner.
Yeah.
The OEM partner.
And the advertiser.
Yeah. So I think to all of them, the concept that we have, right? And it's part of the slogan, we're smart and simple, right?
Yeah.
We're really making the UI as simple as possible, bringing that content to the end user quickly so that you start watching. For the ODMs, for the OEMs, we're giving them a great product for free. They join the
Out of the
WPS,
box.
out of the
Right.
box,
Yeah.
out of the box. They don't have to worry about anything. We're taking care of
Simple.
for everything. It's just really simple. And for the advertisers, we are innovating in ad formats. We're innovating in where to serve them. We're building new options for them, to help us reshape that and not just serve media and
At the
entertainment.
end of the day, it's international scale, right?
And it's
Look at
international
if
scale.
you're doing
It's a good
something
way.
on a TV
How many
outside of
countries
the
are you in?
U.S.
Yeah.
You
Right.
guys are the play.
If
Yeah,
you
I like
wanna
to joke.
go-
I think
yeah.
we're in 195 countries, and including one in North Korea, and I think we know whose household that is in, right? So,
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Mr. Trump's friend. He did. He wrote a love letter. So, but I think also the WPS, the idea that you're sharing the wealth, you're
Yes.
Yeah.
sharing in the upside.
It's
That's
a
the kind of
partnership.
the kind
And
of
we
collaboration.
haven't said
Yeah.
before, it's really about building that trust. We're also WPS, profit sharing, comes with a portal that we give all our clients access to, and they can check.
We're tracking what
They're
you're
tracking the revenue. They can check where the TVs are being. They can
They can
check
check
the
it on their
revenues
phone.
that come. They get paid.
all out there on the toilet.
Yeah, of course.
How much money am I
Yeah.
making?
Whether you're stoned or not.
Okay. Again, I may or may not be. So we've known each other a long time. I have to ask you a serious question.
Okay.
All right? Serious. Tell me the
Getting
truth.
serious now?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
How's my hair look right there?
Can I do something
Yeah,
for
yeah.
you?
Come on, this guy.
Thank you. Now I am
The
actually
ego
going to...
on this guy. You're not seeing if you're listening to the pod, not watching, go watch it. Look at him.
Wait,
making
wait,
faces.
Wait. But because people do
He will
know the
tell me
hair.
later.
Right? Exactly.
It's okay. You're looking beautiful.
Thank
Don't
you
worry.
too.
part of the
So
brand.
I am actually going to ask you all. That's exactly right. I'm going to ask you all a serious question.
This time.
Where we start, a real serious question, and you need to answer it. We are at this inflection point,
Yeah.
right? We are at a critical moment for this industry, the broadcasting, television, entertainment industry. You all know it, right? We are all facing a lot of headwinds here. I'm going to throw it to you first, Marianne. If you could change one thing about this industry, if you had the power of the omnipresent, what would it be?
Okay, I'm Team Europe here, and so of course it's gonna have something to do with Europe. Honestly, I would bring to the table European broadcasters and have them work together.
All of them?
Yeah,
Across the
Yeah,
region?
I was on a pod yesterday, and we were talking about European
You were on
broadcasters.
another pod
I
yesterday?
was, yes.
Cheated on you on another
Yeah,
pod
but it's
again?
Bedrock. It's Bedrock.
All right,
it's
all
okay.
right. They
it's
didn't
okay.
ask me.
Yeah, but so yeah, you know nothing about Europe. That's why I'm here. So no, but I'm a big believer in what broadcasters have to offer. You've said it at the top, completely aligned. But the thing is, even just coordination, collaboration within a single market is not enough. They are midgets, I'm sorry to say,
Compared to the big tech
compared
company.
to big tech, to global players. And so
Netflix.
I think, any move that is being made at a European level will make the most difference. And it's across a number of initiatives, the way they approach YouTube, the way they
Right.
approach being on connected TV
Right.
about topics like prominence, etc. So that's the one thing. So guys, if you need me, call me up. I'm super happy to rock things
Well,
around.
it's interesting. If you use the Eurovision Song Contest as a case study, when that happens, it's one of the most talked, or the Champions League or other things. There are moments where they do come together, and the scale and the buzz and
You
the
get
impression,
goosebumps.
everybody like pays attention to
Yeah.
it for a period of time. Now imagine if they just did that all of the time.
Yes.
That's a great point. All right, Chris.
Yes.
Same question. If you could change anything about our industry, you've been in the industry a minute, right?
Yes.
What would it be?
Yeah, I think the getting back to some of the velocity around how fast we move.
Speed of change.
Yes, I was back, doing Slash video, launching the Hulu and the ABC Desperate Housewives, the first full episode player on.
Oh, you're aging yourself here.
I know. Jumped ship for that because I thought addressable TV was right around the corner.
Yeah.
Right, with Move the Black Arrow. It's a startup founded by Comcast, Time Warner Cable, and kind of consortiums.
Wow.
Because addressable TV was right around the corner in 2007.
And we're
Right,
in
it was-
2025.
Yeah, we're still kind of waiting.
Yeah.
Well, and there is addressable television. When you look at the Skies or the Comcasts or the Charters,
Yeah.
it does happen, but it's not everywhere. It's not universal. It's
No.
not really
Yes.
highly accepted as much as it would be, and to everyone's advantage. That is one of the reasons why the money hasn't moved to connected television as fast as it needs to, is
Right.
we don't have a uniform standard for addressable television. And by the way, deterministic data as well.
Yes.
So Teresa, same question.
So I know what I'm gonna say is unrealistic, but I'm gonna say it anyways.
That's what we're here for.
If I had a superpower and if I could really had a wish, it would be, there's so many wonderful companies already out there. There's so many companies doing all sorts of things. And yet we keep seeing new coming out. I'm just going to talk about the OS. New OS is coming out. New players coming out. Why don't we just sit down together? Why don't we just really, truly look at what can I do best? What can you do best? What can you do best? And
Collaborate.
we do it together.
Collaborate.
Why are we all making it so hard? Why?
Well, there is this zero-sum game in entertainment. It's not enough that I succeed, all others must fail, and it's a very generational thing. It's, it comes from the boomers who have run this industry for so long, and when they all started, I'm probably the oldest person on this podcast.
I
Thank
think
you.
I am.
No.
You don't look like
No,
you don't
if
look
you
like
are, boy, oh boy, we
Yeah.
should all drink what you're drinking.
Yeah, exactly.
Or smoke what you're smoking. But the thing is, I think what a lot of boomers and Gen Xers don't seem to realize is that when we all first got into this industry at the beginning, there were far fewer players.
Yeah.
It was far less complicated. Things were live on television or near live. And so the consumer had less choice. There certainly wasn't YouTube. There wasn't TikTok. There wasn't a phone in your hand distracting you while an ad was playing on television. And the margins were so much bigger.
Yeah.
Year after year after year, you could fuck up and move on and not be afraid of it. And I think a lot of the boomers and Gen Xers don't understand how fortunate they were to get on that ride as the hockey stick was going up. They think they were geniuses for having invented this industry. And now it's harder. And they're like, why is it so hard? I used to have great ideas. No, you used to have no competition.
Yeah.
And now you have all the competition. And it's not as easy. You're not a genius. You were lucky. Enjoy the luck and
Yeah.
privilege that you had.
Yeah.
Old, white, male,
Yeah.
dominant bosses. And now look beyond the edge of your desk or shut the fuck up and listen to the generations who are screaming at you, please listen to me. I have some ideas. That's the thing I would change, is to shift for that.
I mean, I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying there shouldn't be choice. There should always be choice. There should always be competition. That's
Right.
healthy, right? But
The
just-
collaboration.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Between generations, between companies, between countries,
Yeah.
between
Between
podcasters,
countries.
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, you
It's not
did it. You-
enough
you're
that we
preaching
win.
that
We have
guy.
to crush all other podcasters. Well, this is a great conversation.
I loved it. Guys, thank you so much for coming. And we know you have a busy IBC. So you are up for an award. Tell us about that.
Best booth?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
We made
Yeah,
the
we
top
are.
3 finalists for
Yeah.
best booth design.
I went
of the
to
show.
I went to your drinks at your booth yesterday. Marianne skipped it, and
I'm going
But
to
she's
the boat and dinner. Sorry.
yeah, I'm
go.
not going to that. I can't a boat. I'm gonna get seasick.
It's
and then my
Amsterdam, man.
hair too windy. But your booth it's really warm
you.
and inviting, and it was like hanging out on the Friends set or
Yeah.
at Central Perk.
Nice.
It was a lot. It was a lot
And
of
that
fun.
was-
So thanks.
That was the whole idea. I think
And that's
to
Mike, right?
recreate the living room.
Yeah.
It's Mike. That's Marion.
Yeah.
We have a great marketing team behind that.
I had
effort.
someone stop by because Will TV, getting to brand new launch just a year
Who are
under
you?
belt.
What the fuck do you do? Yeah.
Right. Oh, are you guys a new fancy California startup?
That's what it
Yes.
does. You feel like
Yes.
you're in Santa Barbara when you're on the yeah. So again, these are old friends. These are genuine friends. Actually, question of the week, right? I think we just had it. Our question of the week: what would you change about the industry if you could? And I think we had a really good round of questions. Back to the listeners and the viewers out there. Leave your answer in the comments on the various platforms or in our feeds on LinkedIn. If you could change one thing about this industry, what would it be? Marianne, it is great coming to your hometown. I love seeing you in person.
Same here. Thank you.
And thank you for coming to the pod with us. This is the Media Odyssey. That is Marion Ranchet.
And that is Evan Shapiro.
We will see you next time.